My loving audience, take my love and subscribes my channel. Was it just a simple medical emergency, or are we literally watching a murder happen in slow motion right in front of our eyes? You have to wonder, when Bill Hamilton finally keeled over, was anyone actually surprised? I mean, think about it. We've been watching Hayley Lawson, or Val or whatever name she's using this week, literally drip-feeding this man a cocktail of death for months now. But now that he's at Garland Memorial fighting for his life, the stakes have totally changed. The big question on everyone's mind is simple: who is going to be the one to finally scream poison? Is it going to be the doctor, the ex-wife, or maybe a cupcake? I know that sounds crazy, but in the world of Beyond the Gates, a cupcake might actually be the star witness. Let's look at where we are. The hospital has basically turned into a circus, and honestly, it's a mess. Bill made it through surgery, he's got a brand new pacemaker, and he's stable for now. But while he's lying there, his family is basically at war in the hallways. You've got Hayley playing the doting wife role, but we all know it's an act. She's probably already picked out her morning outfit and checked the balance on that $10 million life insurance policy. But here's the thing, she's getting sloppy. Randy told her to go slow, but she's out here giving Bill triple doses because she's in a hurry to be a widow. Why the rush, Hayley? Is it because Bill started looking at Dani again? Or is it because the guilt is finally starting to make her trigger happy? It feels like she's panicking, and when a con artist panics, they start leaving a trail of breadcrumbs. Or in this case, a trail of toxins. Speaking of Dani, can we talk about that hospital outburst for a second? I mean, wow. She really did it. She looked Hayley right in the eye and called Bill her husband. Not her ex-husband. Not the father of her kids. Her husband. Can you imagine the jaws dropping in that hallway? Vernon, Anita, Naomi, everyone was just staring at her like she'd lost her mind. And honestly, maybe she has a little bit. But you have to ask yourself, was that just a slip of the tongue because she's stressed out, or was that her subconscious finally admitting she never let him go? We know Bill still gets her hot and bothered, as the spoilers put it. He can play her body like a fiddle, and it's clearly working even when he's unconscious on a gurney. But what about Andre? Poor Andre is at home, finishing a photo shoot early, bringing home flowers and wine for a romantic night, and his wife is at the hospital claiming another man. It's heart-wrenching, really. Does Dani even realize she's basically emotionally cheating on the one stable guy in her life? And then there's Madison Montgomery. She's the wild card here. They called her back from Denmark because she knows Bill's medical history better than anyone. Now, she's been poking and prodding him, but so far, the blood work hasn't shown anything. But here's my theory: Madison isn't just a doctor, she's family. She's going to start noticing that Bill's symptoms don't match a normal heart condition. If she's as good as everyone says, she's going to start digging. And once she starts looking for things that aren't supposed to be there, Hayley's little undetectable toxin is going to be in big trouble. Do you think Madison is the one who finally tells Dani the truth? Or does she keep it quiet until she has 100% proof? It's a huge burden to carry. If she's wrong, she ruins a marriage. If she's right, she catches a killer. The funny thing is, the person who might actually blow this whole thing wide open isn't even a doctor or a detective. It's Naomi. And it all goes back to that poison cupcake. Remember when Bill swapped them? He ate the good one, and Naomi took a big bite of the one Hayley had spiked. Hayley practically slapped it out of her hand, which was super suspicious, but everyone was too distracted to notice. But now, Naomi is at the hospital getting a blood test because she thinks she's pregnant. Now, stay with me here, because this is where it gets juicy. A standard pregnancy test just looks for hormones, right? But what if the lab finds an anomaly? What if that toxin she ate is still in her system and shows up on the report? It would be the ultimate irony if Hayley's attempt to kill Bill actually gets exposed because she accidentally poisoned his daughter. And there's a darker side to this, too. Could that toxin cause Naomi to have a miscarriage? Imagine the fallout if Hayley's greed ends up costing Bill a grandchild. That would take this from a financial scam to a total family tragedy. While all this drama is going down at the hospital, we've got Randy Parker sweating bullets at Orphe Jeans. He's realized that Bill surviving surgery is the worst-case scenario for them. If Bill is alive, he can talk. If he's alive, doctors keep testing him. Randy is literally smacking his hand down on the counter in frustration. And of course, Joey Armstrong is right there, watching him. Joey is a shark, he can smell fear from a mile away. He knows Randy is lying about some high roller in sports betting. Vernon even called Joey to warn him that Randy is getting too close to the Duprees. It's like the walls are closing in on every side. Randy is a school friend of the late Doug McBride, so he's got deep roots here, but those roots are starting to get pulled up. Do you think Randy will flip on Hayley to save himself? He's already sweating it, and we know Joey isn't someone you want to mess with. If Joey finds out Randy is helping Hayley murder a man, he might just handle things his own way. But let's get back to Bill. Is he really as clueless as he looks? He's a lawyer, guys. These guys are trained to spot lies for a living. There was that one scene where he stared at his teacup like he was trying to solve a puzzle. He even told Hayley once, "I'm not having any more of your poison." Now, was he just being a cranky patient, or was that a subtle warning? Maybe he's playing the long game. Maybe he knows something is wrong and he's just waiting for her to slip up so he can nail her to the wall. It would be such a classic Bill Hamilton move to let her think she's winning right up until the moment he hands her the divorce papers and the police are standing at the door. But then again, he apologized to Dani. He seemed genuinely sorry for everything. You have to wonder, if a man thinks he's dying, does he finally start telling the truth? Or is his apology just another way to pull Dani back in? The tension is really going to ramp up because Bill is bored in his hospital bed. He wants something to read, so he sends Naomi to his house. And get this, he gives her the security code. Hayley was right there, and you could see the look on her face. She was terrified. Why? Because she's probably got that vial of poison tucked away in her luggage or sitting right there in the entryway. If Naomi goes into that house and starts being nosy Naomi, what is she going to find? Imagine the scene. Naomi is looking for a book, she opens a drawer, and boom, there's the evidence. And then Hayley walks in. Can you feel the chills? That's going to be a standing O moment for sure. Do you think Naomi is smart enough to hide the vial and call her mom, or will she confront Hayley right then and there? And we can't ignore the other Duprees. Anita and Vernon are worried sick about Dani. They know she's vulnerable around Bill. They're worried that Andre is going to find out about her "my husband" comment and it's going to blow up their marriage. And honestly, they're right to be worried. Andre isn't a fool. He's already noticed that Dani couldn't stay away from the hospital last time Bill was sick. He even gave her a pass to go see him, but she went on the sly anyway. That tells you everything you need to know. She's fighting the urge to run to him, but the urge is winning. It's like she's addicted to the drama that Bill brings into her life. Andre is the healthy choice, the safe choice, the flowers and massages choice. But Bill? Bill is the elevator romp during a tornado choice. It's that old soap opera trope, do you stay with the good guy or go back to the guy who breaks your heart but makes it beat faster? What's your take on all this? Do you think Dani is totally out of line for claiming Bill at the hospital? I mean, she's still married to Andre. If you were in Andre's shoes, would you walk away right now, or would you try to fight for your marriage? And what about Hayley? Do you think she's actually going to get away with it, or is her time finally up? It feels like we're heading for a massive explosion during the November sweeps. Whether it's the toxicology report from Madison, the blood test from Naomi, or a physical vial found in the house, the truth is coming out. And when it does, the gates are going to be swinging wide open for some serious consequences. The psychological game Hayley is playing is actually kind of fascinating, in a dark way. She's convinced herself that she deserves this $10 million payday because she's put in the work. She's played wife for a year, shared a bed with a man she doesn't love, and navigated a community that hates her. In her head, she's the hero of her own story. That's the scary part about people like her, they don't see themselves as the villain. They see themselves as the person who's finally getting what they're owed. But she forgot one thing: you can't kill a man like Bill Hamilton without the whole world watching. He's too big, too influential, and he has too many people who, despite everything, still love him. And let's not forget Kat Richardson. She's been sitting there with her true crime podcasts, basically narrating Hayley's life. She's already called her a black widow. Everyone kind of brushes her off as just being obsessed with her hobbies, but she's the only one who actually sees the pattern. Sometimes the truth is right there in front of us, but it's so outrageous that we refuse to believe it. Kat is the audience's voice in the show. She's us. She's sitting there saying, "Look at the evidence, people." Will anyone finally listen to her? Or will she have to go full detective and find the proof herself? It's also interesting to see how this is affecting the younger generation. Tyrell is getting dumped because Jessica wants to date around at UCLA. Naomi is dealing with a pregnancy she doesn't want and a father who's dying. Everything is falling apart for the Hamiltons and the Richardsons. It's like the foundation of these families is cracking, and the poison is just the thing that's making it happen faster. When the truth finally comes out, it's not just Hayley who's going to fall. The fallout is going to hit everyone. Bill's reputation, Dani's marriage, Naomi's future, it's all on the line. The funny thing is, we've seen storylines like this drag on for years in the old school soaps. Some fans on Facebook are already complaining that this poisoning plot is taking too long. But you have to appreciate the slow burn. The longer it takes, the more the tension builds. Every time Hayley fixes a cup of tea, we're all holding our breath. Every time Bill takes a sip, we're yelling at the screen. That's good TV. But I think we can all agree that the payoff needs to be huge. We don't just want her caught, we want a full-on showdown in the middle of Fairmont Crest. We want the handcuffs, the dramatic music, and the look on Hayley's face when she realizes she's lost everything. What books did Naomi find at Bill's house? Could a simple request for a few books actually be the final nail in a killer's coffin? You really have to wonder if Bill Hamilton realized exactly what he was doing when he handed over that security code. It seems like such a mundane errand, doesn't it? Just a daughter grabbing some reading material for her bored father. But in the twisted world of Beyond the Gates, we know that nothing is ever just a favor. This little trip to the house is a total tactical nightmare for Hayley Lawson. Honestly, the irony here is just delicious. We are looking at a woman who has spent over a year perfectly crafting this doting wife persona. She's played the part to perfection. But now? She is trapped in a hospital room by the very man she's trying to kill. She can't leave his side because that would look suspicious to the whole Dupree clan. But she also can't let Naomi into that house. Why? Because that is where the skeletons, and most likely the poison vials, are hidden. Does she realize her world is about to cave in? Think about how this situation looks on the surface. It's almost funny if it weren't so life-threatening. Bill is stable after his pacemaker surgery, but he's restless. He is a man who has spent his entire life in motion. He runs a law firm. He manipulates the high society of Fairmont Crest. Being stuck in a hospital bed is probably his personal version of hell. So when he says he has nothing to read, it feels like a totally natural moment. Naomi steps up like a good daughter. But you have to look closer at the psychology of that moment. Why did Bill give Naomi the code right in front of Hayley? Bill is a high-powered lawyer. He is literally trained to read people. He knows how to spot the smallest crack in a testimony. I suspect that even in his weakened state, he's playing a game. He knows that giving his daughter total access to his home is a move that asserts his ownership. It signals that the fog might finally be lifting. Isn't it interesting how he bypassed his wife entirely? Now, let's talk about Hayley's reaction. It was pure, unadulterated terror masked by a thin veil of concern. She claimed she didn't want to leave his side, but we all know the truth. She is terrified of what nosy Naomi is going to find. The spoilers aren't really focusing on the titles of the books. That's not the point. The point is the location of the evidence. Spoilers suggest that Hayley's luggage might still be sitting right there in the entryway. Remember, they were supposed to be in St. Bart's. They had a whole trip plan that got derailed by Bill's collapse. If you were a con artist planning to murder your husband in a foreign country, where would you keep your tools? You'd keep them close. If that vial of poison is tucked into a side pocket of a suitcase, Naomi is walking straight into a crime scene. Can you imagine the look on Naomi's face if she reaches for a thriller and finds a murder kit instead? And what about Naomi herself? She is in a state of what the show calls lawyering her anxiety. She's dealing with so much right now. There's the potential unplanned pregnancy. There's the near death of her father. She feels like her family is being ripped apart by an outsider. Psychologically, this trip to the house isn't just about books. It's about reclaiming her space. She is marking her territory. We saw her do this at the law office when she clashed with Tomas. By entering that house with the security code, she is reminding Hayley who really belongs there. I personally think this is the most dangerous Naomi has ever been. When a person is already pushed to the limit, they look for a target. And she has had Hayley in her sights for a long time. Do you think she's going to stop at the bookshelf? Or is she going to start opening drawers? The funny thing is, the books Bill wants are probably just a distraction for him. But they represent the intellectual life he shared with Dani. They don't represent the superficial life he has with Hayley. We've seen Bill start to regret the elevator romp and the way he treated Dani. He even called it his biggest mistake. If he's asking for books from his old library, he's reaching back to the version of himself that existed before Val showed up. It's a subtle rejection of his new life. Hayley sees this. It has to sting her ego. She bragged to Randy that she deserved a medal for sharing a bed with Bill for a year. But the moment things get real, he reaches for his past. Isn't it pathetic that after all her effort, she's still an outsider in her own marriage? We really have to focus on the physical evidence here. That is where this whole thing is heading. Spoilers are practically screaming that Naomi is going to find something she wasn't supposed to see. Whether it's a drug vial or evidence of the Randy-Hayley connection, the house is the one place Hayley can't control. She's stuck at the hospital playing the grieving wife role. Meanwhile, the person she hates most has a key to all her secrets. It's a classic suspense setup. But it works so well because of the history. Naomi was the one who almost ate the poison cupcake. She's already been a victim of Hayley's sloppiness. If she finds that vial, the dots are going to connect so fast. Do you think she'll realize it was the cupcake that made her feel sick? The emotional side of this is that Naomi is desperate for a win. She feels out of control in her own body because of the pregnancy scare. She feels out of control in her family. Finding proof that Hayley is a fraud would give her back the power she's craving. I predict that when she enters that house, the silence is going to be deafening. Every drawer she opens is going to feel like a violation. And honestly, I am here for it. Hayley has violated this family for over a year. It's about time someone returned the favor. Don't you agree that Hayley has had it coming for a long time? But what if the discovery isn't just a vial? What if Naomi finds evidence of Hayley's other identities? Randy has been giving her fake passports for years. If Naomi stumbles upon a passport for Roberta Sherwood while looking for a law book, the game is over. My opinion is that Hayley is far too arrogant. She thinks she's the smartest person in the room. She thinks she can fool a man whose ego is bigger than his common sense. But she hasn't accounted for a daughter's intuition. The psychological layer here is all about overconfidence. Hayley truly believes she's delivered a standing O performance. But a performance only works if the audience stays in their seats. Naomi just stood up and walked backstage. So, as we wait for the next episode, keep your eyes on those small details. Watch for the lab results. Watch for Naomi at the house. And definitely watch Dani's face when she's around Andre. The truth is hiding in plain sight, and it's only a matter of time before someone steps out of the shadows and says those 3 magic words, "She poisoned Bill." Until then, we're just going to have to keep guessing and keep debating. Because in this town, the only thing more dangerous than a secret is the person trying to keep it. Make sure you stay tuned because things are about to get very real at Garland Memorial. If you love this kind of drama as much as I do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. I want to hear your wildest theories in the comments. Do you think Naomi finds the poison, or does Madison catch it in the lab? Let's talk about it below. We'll be back tomorrow with more spoilers and deep dives into everything happening beyond the gates. You don't want to miss a single second of this Black Widow madness. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.